2020 sped in following the fun and energetic Dirty December, but little did the world know what was coming for it. The year, which has over decades been anticipated with the word vision, got new names such as Trying Year, Testing Year, and a Year of Survival. Not only that, it also brought so many names and words into our consciousness, some of which are isolation, quarantine, lockdown, face mask, nose mask, even hand sanitizers. So many goals were not met, economies crumbled, and the nations of the world had just one goal, which was survival. Amidst all of this, the gender, which is usually referred to as the weaker vessels, stood tall and rose through the crumbles, setting the pace. This inspired KOKO's Person of the Year for 2020, and after a thorough search, only one emerged of the women who did excellently well across the Black nations in the year. Join me as I go on a journey with the energetic social activist, Mrs. Aisha Yesufu. I am Adenike Layoshobo, and this is KOKO TV.
Well, basically, I'm crazy, so that's for sure. If you're watching, this is me. My name is Aisha Yesufu, and I'm crazy. I'm an active Nigerian citizen. I don't see myself as an activist or any of that, because basically I don't do labels. And if you go to my social media handle, especially my Twitter, it says that I don't do label. I am me, and I say it as it is, and that you either love me or hate me, and either one is perfectly okay. And I also say that in my cut, nobody wins. And basically, that's basically who I am. I'm a very fun-loving person. I'm goofy. I'm always making jokes. I'm always cracking people up. I mean, my daughter would say that, "Oh, mommy, you make someone laugh all the time." But you know, when people see me, they think, "Oh, is this real?" Some people ask, "Do you actually smile?" Oh, yes, I do. Besides activism, besides fighting for Nigerian issue, I'm actually a businesswoman. I'm a trader. I'm a market woman. That's what I do. I do business. I've never worked for anyone in my life. I've only worked for myself. I started business in the year 2000, and so it's 20 years now that I've been doing business. And when I turned 40, I realized that I had become the problem of Nigeria. Before turning 40, I can tell you that I didn't care about what happened in Nigeria. I was just focused on myself because I wanted to attain financial independence. I grew up very poor. There was a time in my life when I would go to school in the morning without breakfast, and I would come back home not expecting a lot. It was a very hard time. When I wrote my SSC in 1991, I begged people to give me textbooks so that I'll be able to get A's, but I never got those textbooks. So leaving school, and I knew how it was being poor. When you're poor, you're faceless, nameless, and voiceless. You're not seen as a human being. And I didn't want that degradation that I saw of myself as a human being. And so I fought so hard to get that financial independence. And by the time I turned 40, and I realized that I had become the problem of Nigeria by not speaking out, by just focusing on myself and the people around me. Although I've always been vocal, people that know me, I've always fought against injustice within my circle, but not on a national level. And even as a teenager, I hated Nigeria. So there's an Aisha before 2014 and an Aisha after 2014. Aisha before 2014 never bothered about listening to news, didn't know what was happening in the country, was just focused on herself and the people around her. But after 2014, which is when I joined the Bring Back Our Girls movement. And why did I join that? You know, after my decision at my 40th birthday, and that was in December 12, 2013, was when I turned 40, and I said to myself, no, I can't continue like this, because there are children who are in the position that I used to be in, who are suffering today, who my silence is affecting them. And I remember the little girl that I was, and from that day I made up my mind that I was going to now start focusing on national issues. And 4 months after, the Chibok girls abduction happened, and I joined the Bring Back Our Girls movement. And my voice has been heard ever since from there. I'm one person who is very vocal. and I'm very passionate, and anything I do in life, I give it my 100%. I don't believe in doing things by half measure, and that's the reason why the moment I decided that I was going to lend my voice to national issues, I was heard loud and clear. I didn't wait for anybody to give me a seat at the table. I brought my own table and ensured that people joined me on it.
For me personally, no, that is not the assertion for me. So it all depends on opinion. One of the things that I would say definitely is the fact that protests do work in Nigeria, and the only thing that has ever moved government is protest. And what people do not understand is that things take a long time. For example, look at the Bring Back Our Girls movement. 170 girls are back. Even though there are still 112 that are not back, without the protest, the 107 would never have come back. Look at the NSAS protest. Yes, we had so much tragedy where the government came in and decided to start killing people. The government unleashed thugs on citizens. They were killing NSAS protesters. These thugs overcame government and went to the But a whole lot of things have come out of it. We have the panels that are going on right now. We have the fact that the government is forced to talk about the NSAS issue. I've been on a lot of protests where this did happen. And I think sometimes when we look at it, I'm like, oh, protests don't work. No, protests pay a lot. Protest is the only language that the Nigerian government do understand. And that's the reason why they're doing everything they can to ensure that they force people to stop protesting. So let's never fall into the trap of thinking that protests don't work. They actually work, they have. And also, if we want that protest where we want things to go on the way, for example, we change things, then we need the numbers. We need the critical volume. We need Nigerians coming up. We need everybody coming up and making it their business. Otherwise, we'll continue to be victims in our country. And one thing, rounding this up, I would say that every Nigerian needs to understand that the victim card is going around, and everyone it's falling on our head. It's one battle Nigeria living there. Yesterday's victims were once survivors. Today's victims were yesterday's survivors, and tomorrow's victims would be today's survivors. The question always is, who is next? People think that they have the patent to prayers. They will pray and it will not happen to them. Well, the last victim also prayed and it happened to him.